in our prairie area, we have about 53 species that we planted by seed. And then over in our native formalized garden, we have about 65 species. What we really tried to focus on when we chose that seed choice was extended bloom time. So we wanted to make sure we were getting early bloom all the way into late bloom. But then within that, we wanted to look at flower shape, flower size, and flower color, so that different pollinators have different options throughout the growing season. And so if you think about, like, if you look behind me, you see quite a bit of yellow. What we wanted to accomplish is that every year there's going to be different idea environments for those seeds to germinate, right? So this year happens to be a great year for black-eyed Susan, the compass plant, and quite a few other, there's some hoary vervain. But what we want to do is year over year provide different flowers depending on the environment. So there's quite a wide range. But for this particular year, those are the main species that I'm seeing. Some pale purple coneflower in there too. That seems to be our dominant species right now.
Well, the project that you see here is to be representative for farmers and others. Really, we believe anyone can do something to help pollinators. But when you look at this project, we intended it to be a demonstration. So for those not familiar with what pollinator plantings look like, we wanted to show you kind of phases of that, but also groupings of plants so people could pick out what made sense to them. When we think of it, why here? It's because of the working farm that we have here. So this research farm is one of the largest in the world. It's something that we are actively out farming every day as part of the Corteva footprint that's here. So we felt it was really important to have pollinator habitat to show you can have that adjacency and have that play just fine as though it were on the landscape anywhere. So that's why we chose this and the setup that you see. The program is a phased approach that gets us in over 30 locations across the U.S. Most of that's concentrated within the Monarch Flyway, so the center part of the U.S., but we definitely have locations in other areas, southeast and the northwest as well. And that's based on our own footprint relative to seed production and research locations. The other aspect of it that's really important is thinking about that Monarch Flyway. That's why we targeted some of the locations early that we did. We really wanted to get seed in the ground to be able to start establishing pollinator habitat to really help with the monarch butterfly situation that we see. So when we look at the products that we're using on this farm is the next generation of solutions that farmers will be using. And whenever a farmer is putting together his or her farm and they're thinking about the layout and what changes they make, the crop selection that they have, where they're going to put grass waterways, where their conservation practices make the most sense, we're modeling that same behavior here. So as we think about the safety of the products, as we think about how they get used, it's the same in the next generation as what we're looking for in the future. So whether you're talking soil quality or water quality, different parameters like that, this sort of an approach that we're standing in right now would fit within what we're asking of farmers. If they have a waterway that may need some sort of distance between a field and the waterway and having some sort of setback, for example, they could put in something like a pollinator habitat and they're kind of checking two boxes, if you will. And we want to make it simple because we ask farmers to do a lot. And we want this to be something that they feel is possible and fits within their existing farm operation.